Marineland could soon lose its biggest attraction. Today, the Senate passed a bill that would ban the captivity of whales and dolphins in Canada. The CBC's John Paul Tasker is here with that story. Hey, JP, thanks for being here.
Hey,
so what does this mean?
So this bill bans keeping cetaceans, which are dolphins, whales, and porpoises, in captivity. It also bans impregnating cetaceans, breeding cetaceans, importing cetacean sperm. So it's quite a blanket ban on essentially all of these things to keep captivity at a minimum, because the bill does not do anything with parks like Marineland that already have cetaceans, but it's an attempt to kind of weed it out, to knock it down, to have it not part of the amusement landscape moving forward. And this bill has really been through a rough ride in the Senate. It was introduced 3 years ago by Liberal Senator Wilfred Moore, who's since retired. It's been that long. He's been retired for a couple of years. He partnered up with Green Party leader Elizabeth May to shepherd this through both the Senate and the House. And their argument is essentially that holding cetaceans in amusement parks, in concrete pools, in tanks, is just cruel. It's a cruel form of punishment because these animals are very intelligent, they're very social, they're very intellectual in their own way, of course, and having them in amusement parks is just not something that's acceptable in the 21st century. So Senator Moore had his allies in the Senate still, and they got it through the Senate last night. And so we now go to the House of Commons with this bill, where it's expected it will pass.
The bill isn't without critics, though.
It absolutely is not. So there's a small but mighty group of Conservative senators who've been fighting against this legislation since it was introduced. Senator Don Plett from Manitoba has been leading the charge. He's used every parliamentary procedure and trick in the book to stop this bill from getting through, because he believes very passionately that there's nothing wrong with these sort of amusement parks, that Marineland does important research, it rescues some of these marine mammals. Marineland, of course, says that if they have to go ahead with this legislation, if they have to comply with it, which actually makes it a criminal offence to hold cetaceans in captivity, $200,000 fine and a criminal charge is what they'd face. They say, actually, what we're doing here is hiring people, maintaining good employment in the Niagara Falls region, which needs it, and educating people on marine life. Of course, critics say that's a bunch of bogus, and it's really just about shows and making money off these amazing, majestic marine mammals.
Interesting. All right. Thanks a lot, JP.
Thanks, Vashi.